A tale of love and redemption, they said. But beneath the rose petals lies a story of captivity, obedience, and the illusion of choice. Welcome, mystic seekers. Tonight, we step beyond the fairy tale's shimmering surface into the shadows that shaped it. You know the story. A selfish prince cursed into a beast for his cruelty. A pure-hearted girl imprisoned in his castle. Her compassion breaks the spell. Love conquers all. At least, that's the tale we were told. But what if Beauty and the Beast was never a story about love? What if it was a parable about possession, submission, and the dangerous belief that suffering redeems the abuser? Was Beauty truly free, or was she gently taught to love her chains? Let's uncover the sinister truth behind Beauty and the Beast, a tale of control, not love. One, The Forgotten Origins, Villeneuve's Warning, the 1740. Before Disney's Song of Love and Light, there was Jeanne-Marie Leprince de Villeneuve, a widow writing in 1740, in a world where women were property and marriage was a contract of power. Her Beauty and the Beast was not a bedtime story. It was a mirror of submission. In her tale, Beauty's father is ruined financially. To save his fortune, his daughter is sent to live with a creature who demands her company as payment for mercy. The Beast asks every night the same haunting question, "Will you marry me?" And every night, Beauty says no, until, out of guilt, fear, or compassion, she finally says yes. It was never a love story. It was a transaction disguised as devotion. Villeneuve's version is long, detailed, and filled with political undertones, warning women that even a gilded cage is still a prison. But that was only the beginning. 2. The Simplified Myth, Beaumont's Sanitized Beauty, 1756. 16 years later, Jeanne-Marie Leprince de Beaumont, a teacher and moralist, rewrote Villeneuve's complex story. She stripped away the politics, the gods, the warnings, leaving only obedience and virtue. In Beaumont's world, Beauty is rewarded for being docile, patient, and forgiving. Her love is not passionate, it is moral duty. It became a sermon to little girls. Endure cruelty, and you will find the man inside the monster. Love him enough, and he will change. The Beast's transformation is not his, it's hers. Her tears, her silence, her self-sacrifice, all led to his salvation. And so began centuries of retellings teaching women that their suffering was proof of strength, not imprisonment. But the darker message remained, hidden between the lines. 3. The Beast as Patriarch, the Mask of Power. The Beast was never just a creature. He was the patriarch made mythic, a man's temper turned into fur and fangs. His castle represents isolation and dominance. He controls space-time and choice. Beauty's every movement is observed, every decision framed as kindness from her captor. Yet the illusion is seductive. He gives her fine clothes, lavish meals, a library, a soft prison. We begin to feel sympathy for him, even as he holds her hostage. That is the genius and the danger of the story. We are taught to love the monster because he allows her to live. But what happens when permission is mistaken for love? 4. The Psychology of Captivity, Stockholm's Mirror. Psychologists would later call it Stockholm Syndrome. The bond between captive and captor, born not from affection, but survival. Beauty begins to see her Beast as kind, protective. He feeds her, gives her gifts, spares her life. Each act of mercy rewrites the memory of violence. Her identity dissolves. She forgets the world beyond his walls. Love becomes her only escape from fear. Villeneuve's message becomes clear. The greatest prison is not made of stone. It's made of belief. But centuries later, Disney would turn this warning into a fairy tale anthem. In 1991, Disney reimagined the myth, gone with the political metaphors, replaced by candlelit ballrooms and musical redemption. But the core remained. a young woman locked in a castle, told to see the man behind the monster. The difference this time, the camera made it beautiful. The animation softened the bars of the cage with rose petals and gowns. The story became about empathy, not endurance. And yet, the symbolism of control still whispered beneath the music. The beast's anger, his isolation, his need to be loved to become human. It wasn't healing. It was validation. He needed her forgiveness more than her freedom. And the audience, like Beauty, fell in love with the illusion. The enchanted rose, so delicate, so divine, and yet a symbol of obsession. Each petal that falls measures time, but also pressure. The beast's curse cannot be broken unless she loves him in time. The rose is a deadline dressed as destiny, a manipulative countdown forcing affection through fear of loss. It's not romance, it's coercion cloaked in magic. And the petals keep falling. The magic mirror, show me what I wish to see. A gift, or perhaps a device of control. In the old tales, the mirror is symbolic of omniscience, the gaze that never looks away. Beauty uses it to watch her family, but the beast uses it to watch her. The mirror becomes an eye, a symbol of power disguised as care. It teaches us something chilling. Control often hides behind the language of protection. He never lets her leave without knowing exactly where she'll go. And when she does, he almost dies without her. The beast becomes human when she declares her love. But what does that really mean? Perhaps the transformation isn't his, it's hers. She accepts domination as devotion. She calls her submission salvation. When the curse breaks, it's not freedom, it's normalization. The monster isn't gone, he's simply become acceptable. Villeneuve warned us of this cycle, that power doesn't vanish, it merely changes its face. Across centuries, Beauty and the Beast has been retold as a fable of virtue. But under the surface, it remains a study of all-female conditioning. The moral is clear: love your captor, see his pain, heal him through submission. Your empathy is your worth. It's the same myth repeated in every age, that women's compassion redeems men's cruelty. That control can be softened by love. But as the original text whispers, what you call love, he calls ownership. And every story that tells women to save the monster forgets to ask why the monster was allowed to exist at all. Today, the story lives on, not just in film, but in countless narratives that echo its pattern. The powerful man and the healing woman. The cage made of affection. The illusion that transformation comes from love, not accountability. Villeneuve's warning was prophetic. She saw the danger of romanticizing domination, how easily the beast could hide behind tenderness. Because in every generation, the mask simply changes. The beast becomes a genius, a prince, a tortured soul. And Beauty is told to understand him. But sometimes, understanding is the first step towards surrender. Beauty and the Beast is more than a fairy tale. It's a mirror of societal control. The beast represents unrestrained authority. Beauty symbolizes the moral expectation of purity and forgiveness placed on women. The rose marks the ticking clock of emotional labor. And the kit mirror, the gaze of patriarchy itself, ever watching, ever judging. Beneath its charm, the tale reveals the paradox of love and power. To love someone is to risk being consumed by their need. To be adored is to risk forgetting yourself. Disney told us that monsters can change through love. Villeneuve told us that monsters are created by power and sustained by silence. The beast was not cursed by magic but by ego. Beauty was not chosen for her purity but for her compliance. The true curse of Beauty and the Beast is not transformation, it's repetition. Generation after generation, we keep telling the same story. That suffering is noble, that love is endurance, that control can be romantic. But maybe, just maybe, the real act of love is to walk away from the castle. Maybe Beauty was never meant to save the beast. Maybe she was meant to see the beast in us all. If you made it this far, leave a like and subscribe to join our growing circle of mystic seekers. Until next time, stay curious, stay cautious, and as always, stay mystical.